Every story has a turning point, a moment when everything changes. The turning point.
Started with a ding. Just one simple notification on my husband's tablet left charging on the kitchen counter. I wasn't snooping. I swear I wasn't. I was making coffee. His tablet lit up, a message preview, group chat, the boys. The first line I saw, "Dude, I still can't believe she fell for that accidental text trick. You should have seen her face." I don't know why I opened it. Maybe because my name is never in those conversations. Maybe because the last few weeks something just felt off. He'd been distant, too tired for sex, too quiet in the mornings, but still smiling, still calling me babe like nothing had changed. So I tapped, just once. The app opened, and right there, like it was nothing, was a world I was never supposed to see. I scrolled back. One of the guys, Marcus, had posted screenshots of his progress. Day 3, she thinks I'm genuinely into her now. Wifey is totally clueless. Another guy replied, "You're almost at bonus round. If she sends nudes, you win dinner on me." What the hell was this? They called it the challenge, a game. Rules were simple. Pick a woman, ideally married, bonus points if she's a friend's wife. Flirt, seduce, manipulate. First to get proof, a kiss, a sext, a breakdown, wins. I kept scrolling. Names, pictures, women I recognized. One of them was Lila from our neighborhood book club. Her husband had posted screenshots of flirty messages, her face red from crying. They called it the meltdown badge. He won that round. My stomach twisted. I should have stopped. I should have put the tablet down and walked away. But then I saw my name. Emily's a tough one, doesn't bite at any bait, but I've got something cooking. Just wait. My hands went cold. It was from Daniel, my husband. They were talking about me. I didn't know how long I stood there staring at the screen. Long enough for the coffee to go cold, long enough for the dog to start whining at the back door. But I couldn't move. My name was right there, in their little game. Daniel had posted, "I went with the emotional route, subtle distance, playing the work stress card. She's starting to notice, but not enough to push." Emotional route? This wasn't just cheating. This was psychological warfare. With rules, with commentary. Another message from one of his buddies, Tyler, I think, said, "You got her sleeping in her old college hoodie again yet? That always means they're spiraling. Classic move, bro." And Daniel replied, "Already done. Hoodie and all. She even asked me if I still find her attractive. That was last night." Smooth, right? I did. I did ask him that, and he looked at me with that half smile and said, "Of course I do, babe," then rolled over and went to sleep. It wasn't real. None of it. It was all part of some sick challenge, a joke, to see how far he could push me before I broke. Congratulations, boys. You picked the wrong woman. That night, I said nothing. I smiled, I kissed him, I asked about his day, and I began reading every message in that chat. There were logs going back months. They had rounds. 1 month was subtle dismantling. Next was reignite and reject. That one included a post from a guy who convinced his wife to start therapy just to tell her he wasn't coming. There were even ratings. Screenshots got upvotes. Emotional breakdowns earned fire emojis. It was like a twisted version of fantasy football, but their points were our pain. My pain. His game. I made a copy of everything, screenshots, videos, logs. I emailed them to myself, twice, then deleted all signs from his tablet. He'd never know I'd seen it. Not yet. But he would. Soon. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept hearing their voices in my head. The typed ones, the ones from the chat. Every time I closed my eyes, I remembered one of them signing off with a cool guy smile. The kind of arrogant confidence that made my skin crawl. I wanted to scream, to break something. But I needed proof. More than screenshots, more than chat logs. I needed faces, voices, stories. The next morning, I got up before Daniel, drove across town to a little cafe where I could sit in the corner without being seen, and I started digging. One of the usernames from the chat, RJD92, stood out. It didn't take much. Rob J. Donnelly, real name, real face. Still had a public Facebook profile. His wife was tagged in most of his photos. Her name was Marissa. She looked worn down. Not in a careless way, but in that deeper emotional way you only recognize if you've been through it too. I found her Instagram. The last post was from 3 months ago, just a picture of a wine glass. The caption read, "To the end of lies." Then in parentheses, wine glass emoji. I stared at it for a long time. Then I messaged her. "Hi, Marissa. You don't know me, but I think our husbands were in the same group chat. I found something. I think you did too. Can we talk?" I didn't expect a reply so soon, but less than 10 minutes later, she answered. "Where are you? I'm free in an hour." We met at a park, neutral ground. She walked right up to me and hugged me. She didn't say a word, just held on, and I let her. She told me everything, how her husband suddenly became the perfect man, more attentive, affectionate, thoughtful, just before he blindsided her with the "I need space" speech. Then, a week later, she got an anonymous email with screenshots. Same chat, same twisted language, same disgusting challenge. "I wasn't the first," Marissa said quietly, "but I was the first who decided to speak up." She'd gone to a lawyer, tried to use the chat logs during their divorce, but the judge called it irrelevant. Wouldn't even look at the messages. Can you believe that? But Marissa wasn't done. She'd been tracking them, connecting with other women, like me. "There are more of us," she said. "Dozens, maybe more. And the guys still think we're in the dark." I showed her Daniel's messages. Her hands trembled as she scrolled. When she saw one where he described me, how he'd ignore me for days just to make me beg for attention, she closed her eyes for a moment. Then she looked up. "We're going to burn them down." That night, after Daniel fell asleep with his back turned to me, I took my phone into the bathroom, locked the door, and opened the group chat again. I was done just skimming. I needed to know everything. They called it the challenge, a private game among 10 men, all married, all bored. Each month they picked a new target, someone's wife, colleague, or a friend's partner. The goal? Get her to cheat, record proof, share the story, collect points. It wasn't just flirting. It was planned, documented. There were rules. No touching until she makes the first move. Bonus points if she confesses her marriage is unhappy. Double if she says it's the first time. Triple if she cries after. One of them bragged about how he made a woman think she was his soulmate, then ghosted her after sleeping with her twice. Another laughed about convincing a mother of 3 to meet him in her car during school pickup. Then I saw my name, a screenshot of my Facebook profile. Daniel had posted it himself. Week 4, she's still resisting, but I've got her sleeping lighter. She's starting to doubt. Time to push the emotional angle. I felt sick. It wasn't just betrayal, it was sport, entertainment. They were watching me fall apart and giving him tips. Make her feel seen. You know how much they crave that. Subtle guilt always works. Like, I know you've been distant, but I still believe in us. Next week, romantic memory. Remind her who she used to be. They eat that up. I couldn't believe what I was reading. These weren't random creeps on the internet. They were husbands, fathers, friends we'd had over for dinner. I scrolled deeper. There were folders, shared drives, photos of women I knew. One from book club, another from my Pilates class, each labeled with initials, One even had a voice memo, a woman crying, apologizing, saying she didn't mean for it to happen. They all laughed about it. One guy replied, "Classic guilt phase. They all go through it." I wasn't just another name on the list. I was the final level. The wife who trusted too much. The challenge they all thought would be the hardest. And Daniel, he was winning. But he didn't know something. I was done being played, and I was done crying. They wanted a game. I'd give them one. I didn't sleep that night. Not because I was crying, because I was planning. By morning, I had a notebook full of names, notes, connections. Every man in that chat had a pattern. They liked control, not chaos. They thrived on confidence, secrecy, and the illusion that they were smarter than the women they tricked. Fine. Let's see how they handle losing control. I started with Daniel. He liked when I played vulnerable, so I leaned into it. I cooked his favorite meal. I asked about his day. I even laughed at one of his recycled office stories. He thought I was healing. But I was watching. Every word, every pause, every time he glanced at his phone with that smug little twitch in his jaw. By the end of the week, I had access to his old laptop, the one he thought I didn't know the password to. I did. It was our anniversary date. Inside, a mirror of the group chat, backup files, screenshots, even folders labeled by woman's name, like trophies. I copied everything. Then I created a new account, different name, burner email, no trace. I uploaded a few of the worst voice recordings, blurred faces, altered voices, just enough to expose the game without revealing the women. And then I sent the link to 3 people: a journalist who covers digital abuse and psychological manipulation, a divorce attorney I found on a women's support forum, and one of the wives. She was in 3 different videos, and she had a temper like napalm. By Sunday, the file had over 300 views. By Monday, the article hit. The Marriage Game: How a Secret Group of Men Turned Betrayal into Points. They thought they were untouchable. They thought their wives were weak. Oh, but they forgot the most important rule of any game. Eventually, someone changes the rules. By Tuesday, everything changed. The group chat had gone silent. No new messages, no memes, no points tallies, just silence. I watched Daniel that morning. How he nervously kept checking his phone, refreshing something over and over. He didn't even finish his coffee. He knew. That night, I pretended to fall asleep on the couch. He sat in the kitchen with his laptop open, pacing between tabs. He tried deleting files, messages, logs. Too late. The journalist's piece was now circulating on women's forums, Reddit, even LinkedIn, tagged as a cautionary tale. Faces were blurred, names weren't published, but enough people recognized enough details. One wife posted a photo of her husband's suitcase on the lawn. Another shared court papers. One woman uploaded a tearful video. He made me believe I was crazy. I almost checked myself into a clinic, and it was just a game. That one stayed with me. Daniel finally broke the silence Wednesday night. He came home late, his tie loosened, shirt untucked. I was in the kitchen, pretending to scroll recipes. He cleared his throat. "We should talk." I didn't flinch. "Things have gotten complicated," he said carefully. "Some people, some guys I know, got caught up in a misunderstanding. Mm-hmm. He blinked, watching me, waiting for me to take the bait. I didn't. Just smiled and stirred the soup. Minestrone, ironically. If you hear anything, any rumors, I want you to know none of it was serious. It was just stupid talk. Nothing ever actually happened. Right. Just boys being boys. I turned to him, gave him the look I'd perfected over years of marriage. Warm, patient, loyal. He looked almost relieved. But inside, I was already planning the next step. The article was just the match. Now it was time to light the fuse. The first domino fell on Friday. I received a message on Instagram from a woman I didn't know. Hi, I think we should talk. Your husband and my sister, there's something you need to see. I already knew, but I let her send it anyway. It was a screenshot of a private message thread. Daniel, 2 months ago, flirting shamelessly with her sister, making plans, testing boundaries. But what mattered wasn't the flirtation, it was the phrasing. Don't worry, you're just part of something fun. We're tracking reactions. It's harmless. No, Daniel, not harmless. Not anymore. I forwarded that message to a second journalist, one who covered workplace ethics and abuse of digital consent. She replied in 20 minutes. Let's talk. That weekend, I did what any good wife would do. I made Daniel dinner. I dressed nicely, even lit candles. He looked surprised but pleased. Poor man thought he was getting a second chance. Over the meal, I asked him about his week. He kept his answers vague. Busy, stressful. I nodded, pretending not to notice how he wouldn't look me in the eye. Then I said it. I know about the chat, Danielle. He froze. I know about the challenges, the bets, the married women, the screenshots, the fake profiles, all of it. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. I even know you voted to target me for double points because I was supposedly too loyal to ever suspect anything. Funny how wrong they were. Daniel stammered. It wasn't like that. I held up my hand. I don't need your version. I've seen the receipts. So have hundreds of other women. He pushed back from the table. Who told you? I tilted my head. Does it matter? He was cornered and he knew it. But I wasn't done. I pulled out a folder, the one I'd been keeping for weeks. I slid it across the table. Inside are the names of every woman targeted in your little game, the ones you manipulated, lied to, gaslit. I've already emailed a copy to each of them. He stared at the folder like it might explode. Oh, I added, and there's one more thing. He looked up. I recorded this conversation. Audio, video, everything. I also installed software on your laptop, the one you used for all those chats. Every keystroke, logged. Every file you deleted, recovered. I had always never seen him go pale so fast. This is blackmail, he said. No, I corrected. This is accountability. He stormed out, slammed the door. But I didn't chase him. I poured myself a glass of wine and toasted to the quiet. The article dropped on Tuesday. Front page of a major digital outlet. The challenge. How a secret men's group played with women's lives for points. It didn't name Daniel or the others directly, but the screenshots, the messages, the tactics, anyone involved knew exactly who it was about. And the comments section exploded. Wives tagging husbands, ex-girlfriends sharing receipts, women who had felt something was off now realizing they weren't crazy. They were targeted. It was glorious. By Thursday, Daniel's employer put him on administrative leave. On Friday, 3 other men from the group had their companies launch internal investigations. By Sunday, the group chat was gone. Deleted. But too late. The evidence had already spread, copied, backed up, shared in private forums, support groups, podcasts. The story had gone viral. And me? I didn't post anything. Didn't give interviews. I stayed quiet. Silent is louder when they expect you to scream. But I did receive emails. Dozens. From women. Some thanking me. Some sharing what they had gone through. One wrote, "I thought I was alone. You gave me language for what happened." That one stayed with me. Daniel tried to call. I didn't answer. He emailed, begged to talk, said he made a mistake, that he never thought it would go that far. Funny how men say that only after the fire's already started. But it did go that far. One of the women in the group had a breakdown. Another filed for divorce. Another left town entirely. This wasn't a prank. It was coordinated emotional sabotage. And now, finally, it had a name. I took one final step. I created a secure, anonymous platform, just a simple forum, a place for women to share if they suspected something like this had happened to them. I called it After the Game. It wasn't revenge. It was resistance. And maybe redemption. Though I can't lie, it did feel a little good when Daniel's name trended under most searched male cheaters. I sat at my kitchen table that night, the same place where it all began, with a chat window and a bad feeling in my gut. I poured another cup of tea, looked at the folder, and finally, closed it. The game was over. For them, and for me, it had just begun.
If this story moved you, there's more to come. Subscribe and don't miss the next turning point.